Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Alex Ross, issue number 8. Excuse me, that's Captain America, issue number 8. My bad. It's just, it's freaking Alex Ross, man. This is just damn gorgeous. Holy crap. I mean, like, you can actually see the stitches in the A of the costume, which I'd figure probably wouldn't be stitches, it'd be like painted on, or like it'd be part of the whole thing. I don't know, I don't care. All I know is that's freaking awesome. Like, that looks really good. Damn. Anyway, so let's get into who actually made this comic book. It's kind of important. So we've got Ta-Nehisi Coates and Adam Kubert as the writer and artist extraordinaires for Captain of Nothing, Part 2. Frank Martin is the color artist. VC's Joe Caramunga on letters. I may have mentioned this guy named Alex Ross doing the cover. And Dave Johnson did one variant cover. Phil Noto did another. Carlos Lau is the graphic designer. And of course, Captain America is created by Joe Simon and Jack King Kirby. So Baron von Strucker is like a pretty tough guy. He'd go toe-to-toe against Nick Fury back in the old Howling Commando days and would sometimes win. Like, he was tough. Even without his Satan claw, he was really tough. I don't think he was ever tough enough to be able to beat the Wrecker, though. But somehow here, he straight up, like, I don't know, I guess he murders him, whatever. Like, he jacks him up in a major way, man. Breaks his hand just by crushing it. Catches his fist, all that stuff, man. He's tough, dude. This cat's tough. Anyway, so we get a whole bunch about Baron Strucker. Cap is essentially in Baron Strucker's prison. He ain't gonna let him go. Now, Captain America does get released from prison, though. The thing is, it's not our Captain America. It's the Secret Empire Captain America who gets released from his prison. And he runs into Selene. So there is a fight between Selene and Captain America. The old Black Queen. And I'm just saying, this is pretty wicked. Y'all gotta see this fight, man. This was bad. At the end, it looks like somebody dies. And, ooh. Anyhow, sick. Wicked fight, man. There's a shoving contest between some of the other wrecking crew and Captain America proper in prison. I don't know, man. A few things happen here. The most important thing happens, however, was a face-off between Sharon Carter and the Kingpin. Because, remember, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was murdered in Kingpin's district in New York, of which Kingpin is the mayor of. And she goes and brings all sorts of blackmail evidence. He's doing some bad things. And she's just they're both talking with each other. Finally, he relents. But, he relents with power. Gives her the information. So we also find out who, apparently, at least who the Kingpin suspects as being the murderer of Thunderbolt Ross. Go ahead and buy the comic book to see all of that good stuff. This was it was kind of a slow comic. There were some things that felt out of character, like Captain America getting into a shoving contest with somebody. I mean, that was kind of weird. That's kind of weird, but whatever. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, Captain of Nothing continues the next issue. The solicit is no costume, no shield, trapped behind bars with 1,000 villains and killers who'd like nothing more than to see him dead. Steve Rogers fights back, and he could do this all day. I like that. So we're going to get a little more action in the next issue, at least I'm hoping, because we have had a couple of dry issues of this comic book, which, that's fine. If the story's progressing, we're good. Make no mistake, though, this is a very elusive comic book. There's a story here, and it's actually a really good story. The thing is, you got to be really paying attention for it. I'm exhausted right now. I feel like I could just go and put my head down on the pillow and fall asleep, And I'm sure it shows in my reviews as of late. The only time I have to do all of these freaking reviews that I put up is in the middle of the night. So, yeah, sleep for me is a detriment. So a comic book like this that is so deep, it's hard to focus on it sometimes, and you really have to. You have to be on your A game in order to understand what's going on in these Ta-Nehisi Coates books. There are a lot of times I wonder, did I make a mistake by not continuing reading the intergalactic empire of Wakanda that Ta-Nehisi's doing currently? because like a lot of it just didn't make sense. I'm like, this is just dumb. We're like several issues in, like we were a dozen issues or half a dozen issues in, and we never had an explanation how exactly he's out there. I had to start finding explanations from reading the Shuri comic book, which unfortunately I dropped off because, yeah, man, there's a lot. There's a whole lot here, and yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that. If you pay attention to it, if you can read it and read it again if necessary, it's a deep comic book. There's some serious stuff going on. And when you think about all the stuff that's happening here, even though it feels like it's just, oh, it's stagnant. It's like, oh, what really happened to the story? How did the story progress? The story progressed a lot. Think about how much further the Secret Empire aftermath has continued at this point. Somebody's probably dead, like on panel, dead. It's kind of messed up. Captain America's in prison. We got people going after him. Meanwhile, all these other people, Von Strucker and I can't remember the girl's name, Alexei. I think her name is Alexei, whatever. The what do you call it, from back in the Brubaker days. They're on the move. We know the Red Skull is active in some way, shape, or form somewhere. What's going on there? There's a lot. There's a whole lot going on. It's just the idea of actually putting it all in context with each other. That's what's hard, is finding those links to each of those things. And you can wind up looking at a caulkboard wall with pictures all over the place, thumbtacks and yarn connecting everything. So just see the spider web of connectivity. You could get conspiratorial on this. You could become the question. But I don't know, for all intents and purposes, I do like this comic book. It's just, I wish I had more time to read this when I wasn't so tired. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.